Hello and welcome. I'm Ethan Liu, and here's what happened this week. Taiwan will attend the Pacific Islands Forum later this month as a development partner, according to the bloc Secretary General, following a foreign ministers meeting in Fiji on Friday. The bloc of 18 Pacific Island nations allows regional stakeholders, including the U.S., China, and Japan, to join as dialogue partners in certain discussions. Taiwan has traditionally attended as a development partner, a special status that allows it to hold meetings on the sidelines of the forum. This year's forum will be held in Palau, one of Taiwan's diplomatic allies. Taiwan and all dialogue partners were blocked from last year's forum in the Solomon Islands after China reportedly pressured the host country to exclude Taiwan. Taiwan's foreign ministry said it looks forward to engaging with like-minded partners at the forum. Several members of the U.S. Congress recently visited Taiwan. One of them is Republican U.S. Representative McCaul, a longtime supporter of Taiwan who previously served as the chair of the House Foreign Affairs Committee. Our reporter Tiffany Wong sat down with him in Taipei to hear the message he hopes to deliver during this visit.
I know that you mentioned before that you are quite confident that President Trump will pass another $14 billion arms sale to Taiwan. How soon do you think that might be? And do you think it could happen before President Trump meets with Chinese President Xi Jinping in September?
Well, only President Trump can answer that question. I can tell you where the United States Congress is, that we are strongly supportive of Taiwan, that we want to see that foreign military sales package tendered to the Congress for approval, which will happen very quickly. I feel that I do believe the president will do that soon, and that's part of the deterrence.
So during this trip, you met with President Lai Ching-te and also Foreign Minister Lin Jialong. I'm wondering what kind of key messages did you convey to Taiwanese government officials? I know that you mentioned, expanding the non-red drone supply chain, potentially seeing some, partnerships with the U.S. and Taiwan there. Could you explain a bit? Congress
stands strongly behind Taiwan, both Republican and Democrat. There's no party distinction on Taiwan. I had the honor to meet with your speaker and parliament members from both parties, the DPP and the KMT. They seem very solidified on their legislation in terms of foreign military sales and also the drone issue. And what's great about it is it mirrors exactly what we are doing in Washington right now with the National Defense Authorization Bill, with the Taiwan Security Initiative Act, which basically authorizes $1 billion towards co-production of advanced drone capabilities in Taiwan and in the Philippines, as well. It's great that your parliament and our Congress are working together almost simultaneously in defense of Taiwan.
Thinking about the conversations you've had with different members of Taiwan's government over this week, what sort of messages and takeaways do you have to bring back to Congress and the U.S. government?
That people of Taiwan stand strongly with us, that the weapon sales are extremely important, that our cooperation between your military and our Indo-PACOM, our military in the Indo-Pacific, and specifically Admiral Paparo, is very important. Also, that the gray zone is real, that China is invading that, not just with their Navy warships, which I was greeted by the last time I came here, by the way, and then sanctioned, but also by a ghost fleet of unmarked vessels under the name of research and their Coast Guard, that they're exploiting that to go into the gray zone and conduct exercises. It is the first step in preparation towards what could be an invasion, and that deeply disturbs me, and that is a message that I will be taking back. And it's precisely why this $14 billion package needs to be submitted to the Congress as soon as possible.
That was U.S. Representative McCaul. Taiwan's annual Kuang military exercise is in full swing. This year's drills include a test of the military's ability to defend the capital. Ellen Liu has more.
Combat engineers set up HESCO barriers on a bridge to slow an advancing enemy force. Filled with sand or soil, the barriers allow troops to quickly construct strong defensive walls. This is part of the Danjiang Bridge defensive obstacle drill. It's one of the scenarios featured in Taiwan's annual Kuang military exercise. When this new bridge opened earlier this year, it immediately became strategically important as a key transportation link in northern Taiwan. If an invading force breaks through the mouth of the Danshui River by landing at Shalun Beach, the bridge could give a direct route toward critical infrastructure like the Port of Taipei and Taoyuan International Airport.
有人会问说这些主角设施能够阻挡敌军吗？其实是不太能够。但是呢，敌军会考虑说，万一我要冲破这个路上的时候，它会增加它的进攻时间，它会不会改道到其他地方？那这个时候呢，我方呢也会想说，我就把守军呢埋伏在另外一个通道，用那个地方去歼敌。
The engineers also deploy steel hedgehogs paired with concertina wire, another type of defensive obstacle. Together, these are designed to hinder the movement of enemy vehicles and personnel, funneling them into predetermined kill zones. And concrete wave breakers were also set up as part of the obstacle drill. But there is more. On the other side of the bridge, those red lights lining the riverbank are tanks positioned to defend against a simulated advancing enemy. A closer look reveals a line of CM-11 tanks concealed in position. They are designed to engage targets while on the move. The southbound lanes of the bridge were closed through the night for the exercise. And there has been civilian participation in the drill too, highlighting the coordination and trust required between the military and the public.
It's not just a military operation, right? The defense of Taiwan is going to take everybody. That's why they're working on whole society resilience. So integrating volunteers, I think, is very, very important.
But it wasn't just the bridge. Over at Taoyuan International Airport, troops simulated an enemy airborne assault and set up defensive obstacles. Alongside Taiwan's Clouded Leopard armored vehicles, the military also deployed for the first time its advanced U.S.-made Abrams tanks, key ground artillery for rehearsing air defense. This follows a drill in the north, which tested relocating weapon production lines. The goal was to ensure that even if existing facilities were attacked, weapon manufacturing could still continue. Together, all these exercises are aimed at defending Taipei, Taiwan's political and economic center. But equally important is ensuring both military operations and civilian resilience can continue in the face of an attack. Fu Huahong, Dauphin Chen, and Ellen Liu for TaiwanPlus.
Inflation in Taiwan has stayed above the government's 2% warning line for 3 consecutive months, with consumer prices reaching 2.5% in July. Jiamen Trist has more details.
At Taiwan's markets, budget-conscious shoppers are feeling the pinch. New figures show consumer prices up more than 2.5% in July year-on-year. Customers agree. Their money just isn't going as far as it used to.
现在可能至少就一餐一定是100块起跳。
买菜就很明显啦，1000块出去已经不够了。以前大概买鱼买肉，1000块应该有余额啊。
But the biggest headache is for vendors. Supplies are getting more expensive, leaving a dilemma about whether to raise prices in turn.
你如果说你不自己吸收，你要撞到消费者的身上，就是消费者可能不会来消费。
Prices for staples like rice, pork, and above all eggs are all up sharply. But rents are going up too.
很多房东呢，他在维护整个房屋租赁品质上面，也都会需要更多的一些花费，所以当然它就会反映在后续的这个租屋的这一个租金上面。
July was the 3rd month in a row that inflation passed the government's 2% warning level. And while produce prices could come down soon, barring any serious typhoons, situations like war in the Middle East mean there are many unknowns about what prices will be like through August and beyond. Andy Xue and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.
As Taiwan celebrates Father's Day this year, some dads are getting to spend more time at home with their young children thanks to a more flexible parental leave system. But not all eligible fathers can enjoy this benefit. Irene Ling has this report.
Cradling his now 8-month-old daughter, Wu Zongyuan is one of the few full-time dads in Taiwan. He's set to go back to work at the end of the month after he and his wife each took 6 months of paid leave to spend more time with their newborn.
就是后来会一起请的决定，是因为我们觉得说，就是小孩的成长只有一次，那我们刚好也是都是新手爸妈，就是2个人一起去面对，因为毕竟我们是自己住外面，然后其实算是没有后援的情况。其实现在目前有8升薪嘛，但我们就是其实我跟他有讨论过、衡量过之后，其实我们2个人8升薪加起来算是有办法支应生活的支出，对。
The current rules allow parents like Wu to take a total of 2 years off before the child turns 3. 6 months of it are paid up to a maximum of about $1,100, while the rest is unpaid. And as of this January, parents are also allowed to take 30 individual days off. Thanks to the extra flexibility, there have been more fathers taking time off to be with family. They even surpassed the number of mothers on leave in May, according to the Labor Ministry's latest figures. Still, the numbers show that more than half of all applicants are women. Some local NGOs worry that traditional gender roles persist.
在台湾常常都把这样子的这个责任其实是转嫁给女性的这个部分，那造成女性劳动参与率在30岁之后大幅下降的这个部分。那其实另外一个层面，我们也看到男性他也遇到同样的这个状况，他可能要花更多的心力在职场上面去努力。
These assumptions often translate into tangible salary bonuses for working fathers, tilting the income scale in their favor over mothers when deciding who should keep working.
因为过去我们会有一个词叫做父职红利，也就是因为传统预设爸爸是养家者，所以爸爸在生了小孩之后，可能他的薪资薪酬有可能因为有小孩之后，他反而比如说加班时数更长，或者是主管也会觉得，今天你是一个爸爸，你看起来是一个可靠的人，所以在薪资升迁上面会比女性有更多的机会。请假之后，他的收入会相对锐减非常多，那其实是不利整个家里就是维持经济收入安全的。
For fathers who want to take time off, workplace advantages and pressure can also make it harder for them to step away from the job, especially if they work in competitive industries like tech.
一般的家长应该是大概在他的工作年资可能在3到5年左右，职场在压力，然后工作的分量多，然后再来就是他在支配权上面比较少的状况下，政府机关的那个法令它的强制性可能要再更高一点。大的电子业或者是比较大的机构，它开始身先士卒，或者它起一个示范的作用，其实这个就会带领我们整个工作环境的改变。
And relief may be in sight. The cabinet is looking to add several benefits on top of the current parental leave rules. The 6 months of paid leave could become 9 months. The 30 flexible days of leave will become 60 days. And parents with children under 6 years old will also be eligible.
就是如果有孩子有突发状况，譬如说要看医生，或者是保姆临时的，就是可能就是整日的也需要请假的话，我自己会觉得说比较不用担心说，我是不是我还有没有就是额外的假可以去请。
Taiwan has one of the lowest birth rates in the world. Cross-party consensus is building in the legislature for measures to ease a potential demographic crisis. And parents and activists hope that the latest reform will help change gender roles and workplace culture, giving fathers and their children more time to bond. Devin Tsai in Irene for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching Here's What Happened. Finally, we leave you with images of horseback riding in the sea during Croatia's summer heat wave. I'm Ethan. Take care and see you next week.